Welcome back everybody to another episode of the World Transformation series. Today we are going to be tackling some of the little guard posts around the island and doing a little bit of terraforming around the edges of the island to get everything looking smooth and a little bit nicer. And then going over to the witch tower in the back of the island and taking care of that. So hopefully you all enjoy. Now let's go ahead and jump right into it. So starting off over here, I start out by getting rid of the path and then eventually getting rid of that cobblestone wall around the area. And just kind of smoothing out the terrain a little bit, trying to get it looking a little bit nicer. Because I'm going to be moving the tower to the top of that little hill there instead of sitting out in the water like it is now. So I start out by laying out a little circle with cobblestone. Then I start building it up with stone bricks, trying to get a good height that I think will give the feel that I'm going for. Now I'm going through and adding some detail with some andesite and cobblestone and regular stone, and then going through on the corners and adding some polished andesite. And I think it gives a pretty cool feel. Then I head up top and start adding a roof on there, and I decided I wanted it to be like a lighthouse type thing, so I put a big fire on top of it using the campfires, and then eventually I add a flag to the corner of the build just to give that same feel that the original build had. And then I start going through and trying to figure out a way to add in some banners hanging from the sides, and I think what I got turned out pretty cool. Now I go up and start building that flag I was just talking about. And there we go. That is pretty much it for this tower. All right, now we move over to the second tower. And I start out by removing everything that's there already. And I start building up a little hill using the sand spheres. I find it a lot easier to use the sand spheres to build up terrain than just like a sphere of dirt, because sand will fall and it'll give more of a natural look whenever you're trying to smooth everything out and blend it together. And I do eventually end up changing up this terrain quite a bit. But yeah, this is what we got for now. So now I just pasted in the tower and I'm making a few edits around it to make it blend in a little bit better. And then I decided to go ahead and add a little building on the side there, just to give it a little bit more of a difference than the original one. And again, I decided to go through with the stone and andesite and cobblestone, just to add a little bit of detail there. Then I go in and start adding a custom tree, and I think this tree actually turned out pretty good. I was a little bit unsure about it at first, but I think I got it to a point that I really like it. Now I'm just going through and bone mealing, getting rid of any flowers that just kind of stand out a little bit, like dandelions and poppies, and I'm only leaving the white ones, the azure bluettes and the daisies, I think they're called. And again, just doing a little bit more smoothing of the terrain and adding in a few bushes here and there. And yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. All right, now I head over to that third tower and start changing this up a little bit. And again, I'm just gonna copy and paste the tower design, but we'll do some other changes around it. And there we go. There is the finished product. So heading over to the witch tower area now, I started out by building up the mountain a little bit more. I wanted it to be like a big plateau, just kind of looking over the ocean side a little bit. So I started out by making up the mountain, using the sand spheres and letting it fall down, give like a more natural shape for the cliff sides. And I spent quite a while tweaking that, making sure it was the way I wanted it to be. And I think I ended up getting something pretty good. I wanted to salvage that tower there, that cobblestone tower, but decided to get rid of it. It's not too important anyways, since we don't have a wall going around the city anymore. I also went ahead and moved that little church down there so that we could do some more terraforming without ruining that house. I am gonna end up redoing it anyways, but I wanna keep the basic shape of it, so I went ahead and copied it over and moved it. Now I start going through and replacing all the sand with grass. And I do the entire thing out of grass so that we can replace all the dirt with stone, just like I'm doing right now. So it gives it a little bit more of a natural look. And then I go through with stone and replace a lot of the grass blocks that are just sitting on the sides with stone. Now I head up top and start working on some dead trees, and then move over to the tower and start building that up. And I wanted to keep a similar feel to the original one. So I started doing a gradient of like andesite going up into nether brick, and I think that ends up giving it a pretty cool look. Then I go around with dark oak, start giving it a dark oak roof. And again, I'm trying to give it a similar shape to what it was previously, but just trying to give it a little bit more detail and make it look a little bit nicer. And I think I pulled that off pretty well. And there we go, there is the finished product. I think it turned out pretty good. Now I'm just going through and trying to clean up the pathway a little bit. Just trying to make it look a little bit nicer and a little bit more natural looking. Then I head back to the top and start working on some more custom trees. And I eventually start going through with some vines and then some leaves and tall grass. And just giving this area a little bit more detail. There we go, that is the finished product. I think that turned out pretty good. All right, now I head over to that little pond and the Twilight Forest portal and start terraforming that a little bit, just getting a better shape for the pond. And I'm gonna turn it into a little koi pond. I think that would be fitting for what we had here originally. So I start out by getting rid of all the grass and sand, mostly, under the water and replacing it with coarse dirt and regular dirt. Then just kind of blending it together a little bit. Then I go around the pond and just do a little border of coarse dirt and putting some flowers all around it. And then I start adding in some bonsai trees. And I've been really enjoying doing these type of trees lately. I've been doing them in my single player survival series and now here. And I really like how they look. Now I start adding in a little dock to do some fishing off of, maybe. And then I go through with some seagrass and the bottom of the water and start adding that in. Then some lily pads, then do some rocks around the edges. And add in some tropical fish, of course. I decided to add in one more bonsai tree, and I think that's gonna finish it off for us. All right, there we go. That is pretty much it for this episode. We made a lot of really good progress today. We got a bunch of stuff redone. Got the koi pond, or what used to be the Twilight Forest portal. Got that in there. Got all the towers redone. And of course got the witch hut at the back of the island redone. And yeah, I think it all turned out really, really good. So that's going to do it for this episode. Hopefully you all enjoyed as well. Make sure to let me know what you think of everything that we got done today. I want to say we're about halfway done with this project. We'll probably have 2 more episodes of this series. One episode probably tackling all the small buildings in the area, like the windmill, all the little village houses, and then all the houses over in Chimney Swift's area. And then probably another one tackling the castle and the tree area, the giant tree area. But yeah, that's going to do it. Hopefully you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and I will see you all in the next episode. Goodbye.